Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
Hey, y'all, it's your girl, Keke Palmer. I'm an actress, singer, and entrepreneur. On my new podcast, Baby, This is Keke Palmer, I'm asking friends, family, and experts the questions that are in my head. Like, is OnlyFans only bad? Where did memes come from? And where's Tom from MySpace? Listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer, only on Amazon Music.
Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Crappens. 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 Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker here on a very important and exciting day for the Crappens, Bravo, and humanity world. It is the season finale of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Day. And here joining me, as always, is my wonderful and beautiful co-host who is innocent on all counts of being a good person. Although, wait, does that make you, are you being charged with being good? If you were being charged with being a bad person, then guess what? He is innocent. And if he's being charged with being a great person, then he is guilty. It's Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Hi, I'm guilty as hell. I'm a bad bitch, man.
He's a bad batch.
I'm a bad batch.
You're a bad batch. So welcome, everyone. Hello to everyone who's on Crappens On Demand. This is a Crappens On Demand episode, which means you can watch us record the episode. Go to patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens and sign up at that level, Crappens On Demand level, to watch us on video. Hello, hello, hello. Ronnie's wearing a beautiful yellow shirt. Bueller is behind him. I am blown out in a cloud, but I'm wearing a nice, beautiful sweater that I'm very happy with. So you can go check all that out, plus more. We also have a weekly bonus episode on Patreon. This week, we're going to be doing a trailer breakdown of Vanderpump Rules. And if you're wondering what about the New Jersey trailer breakdown, that's most likely going to be next week. But also, more importantly, in case you missed the news yesterday, we have new tour dates. They went on pre-sale yesterday. They're going on general for sale this Friday at 10 a.m. local to whatever the venue is. And in case you missed any of the announcements about any sort of tour, here are the cities really quickly. If you hear your city, first, do a little jig. Second, get onto the internet and buy yourself some tickets. Here we go. We've got Austin, Dallas, Phoenix, Los Angeles for the Golden Crappies. Very excited. We're already starting to line up guests. I guarantee this is going to be an amazing show. Biggest venue we've ever had, the Wiltern Theater. I mean, I literally saw Madonna there. I don't know what we're doing there, but we're there. So come see us. Charlotte, Atlanta, Denver, Salt Lake City, our first time going there. Very excited about that. We may or may not have someone there. Seattle, San Francisco, Toronto. We haven't been there yet. Philadelphia, New York City, DC, and then here are the new dates that just went on pre-sale yesterday, going on full sale on Friday. By the way, the pre-sale code is Crappens 2023. San Diego, St. Paul, Chicago, and Columbus, Ohio. So be sure to get your tickets. And who knows what else might be coming down the pike on that schedule. But for right now,
you know what? Who does know?
You know, Ronnie, you never do know about life, do you?
One never knows.
One never knows. Go to watchwhatcrappens.com for tickets, by the way. I didn't even mention that. But if you want to buy tickets, that's what you do. And that's that. That's
how to do it, y'all.
That's how to do it.
Yes. Oh, my God. This has been a crazy busy week. There's been so much going on Bravo. Like just today or just this week already, there's been like 18 recaps we've posted. But I have to say, I have not felt as sad as I am today. Poor Jen Shah. I mean, watching this episode, everything that Jen is going through, I mean, it really just, it really hurts. It hurts me deeply. She didn't do anything. And I believe in her. Fuck
She did
off.
nothing.
How dare you spend half an episode trying to make me cry for Jen Shah? Are you fucking kidding me? I know you just edited this like last week because you've already got the little place card in there saying how long she got sentenced to. Cut the shit. Okay? Cut the shit. Thanks.
I don't know. I have a different perspective. Bravo knows. Everyone knows she's guilty. This was Bravo just putting it all out there, saying, "Look at this lady trying to punk us all. Look at this sad attempt to try to punk us all." So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the sob story because it's like, you're going to jail. You're guilty. You said you're guilty. You're going to jail. This is bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. This was, to me, a big wink and fuck you by Bravo, because it makes her look so bad. They intentionally made her look so bad because they just revel in this big lie that she has, and now she's going off to the big house, which also, by the way, it reminds me, Duell Hello is coming back. It's on Wondery Plus. Go check it out on your podcast thing.
Oh, yes. And we should also announce, even though we're into the show now, so sorry to do this late, but if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, some of you think that we're like, you have to subscribe just to hear a normal episode. All these recaps are still free, these Bravo Housewives and stuff. We still do 5 free shows a week, but the way that Apple lists them is they list a subscription version and they list a free version. The free version has commercials. The subscription free one doesn't, but some of you are getting pissed off at us thinking we're trying to like force you. We're not. Okay. If it says subscription, just check. There's another version that's free. Okay. We'll see if we can get that fixed, but just for right now, no. Then what about what I'm going through? Okay.
Take it up with Apple Podcasts. That app is a bit janky, so apologies if there for confusion with that. But the perks of being a subscriber is you do get access to Duell Hello, so that's also fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jen Shah. What about my subscription?
Yeah, this is an episode that was basically 20 minutes long, and then they ended the season. And then they tacked on all this after-school drama about Jen Shah, where she just continued to fucking lie and be a victim and sob. And then Heather continued to be a victim, like a long-suffering friend that would do anything to support her friend. Like, none of you had a fucking clue at this point in shooting. Come on, ladies, I ain't buying it.
Well, I'll tell you what made me the most angry about this episode. And it was not Jen Shah. It was Bravo, who had dangled this moment with Dana and Jen Shah all season long. It was in the trailer where basically Dana goes off on Jen Shah and is like, I forget what she said, even though I just found the clip again this morning. But Dana goes off on Jen Shah, and it looks like it happens at the Bad Mormon party, and it is nowhere to be found. I don't know why that is. I maybe they wanted to have more screen time for the New York shit. But that's bullshit. You can't give us a beautiful morsel like that and have me waiting all season long being like, don't worry, Dana's about to explode. We're going to have that Dana moment. Dana's going to be great. And then they don't have it. And it also sucked for Dana because now everyone's like, Dana's lame. But it's like, Dana actually probably had an amazing moment and they wouldn't let us see it. It's not fair.
Kind of, but it's also like, it would have been good to see that. I'm glad we got to see it in the preview, but Dana is kind of lame, and like the only thing she really has is coming after Jen for all of this stuff, which we already know. So it's like, it means nothing to me coming from somebody who's not involved. You know, if it was someone like Heather or at least someone in the core group who's like been buying it and then they decide, now listen, I'm not buying it anymore. They just can't make it work with these late additions and bad actors. You know, Dana's just not a good actor, and Angie K is just terrible, and she really tries it today. But I can't buy this like, oh, now you've evolved to the point where you just don't believe Jen anymore, and now you're going to confront her about it. What are you doing? And why are you dressed like a catering table at a wedding? Like, she's wearing the craziest, it's all folded like catering napkins. It's like fan folded. It looks like it's made from the material that they make the tablecloths in the country club. Girl.
I actually thought that Angie K was pretty good. I'm actually a little surprised she wasn't a full-fledged housewife because her storyline and her issues were sort of at like full cast member level. And I mean, she was ridiculous. You know, the way she flip-flop back and forth in terms of being friends with Jen and not being friends, but that's what they all do on this show. I was surprised, and I think that kind of speaks to maybe one of the faults of this season was maybe like some sort of lack of direction from the showrunner point of view, maybe from production. I felt like production was a little unfocused. Like they should have developed Angie K from the beginning. Like it took like 5 or 6 episodes before Angie K seemed to really even have an impact on the show. And Dana should have been fleshed out so she felt like not just this weird side character that came on the trip. I don't know what was going on this season. I enjoyed the season, but I think all of these areas that feel strange, or it's like, we keep on saying it's the audition season, but it feels like it's the audition season because I don't think the producers did a good job of actually making these women feel like they were more textured than they are. Not that there's that much texture when it comes to them, and definitely not on their foreheads. Zing!
Yeah, I don't think the producers need to make you seem textured. I think you're just textured or you're not textured. You know what I mean? Like your wall is either orange peel or it's not. Like there's no... Like, let's try to make it seem orange peel. Well, I guess there's faux finishing. So maybe they could have done something like that. But in general, it's just bad casting. Now, Andy promised in a tweet or somewhere, I don't know, I saw somewhere, or I heard from social media,
like
that Andy has
the,
said, oh my God, the next season, wow, the casting is amazing for next season. Which, listen, it's very difficult for me to believe Andy Cohen. It's like when somebody in charge of government's like, less taxes. Okay, sure, buddy. Well, sure. You know, I never believe him because he's a spokesperson for the empire. But yeah, they know. In other words, they know.
There's something's right. But I feel like I still feel like this is not a sinking ship. It's doing just fine. I think they just had a little bit of a convoluted direction for the season, and that's it. So anyway,
I want it to be. I love that it's a sinking ship. This show is a sinking ship, and it has been since the second it started. That's the point of this show. This show's never on solid ground. It's completely Looney Tunes. It's like it's taking place in a completely different country. Nobody has any control over it. They just sent a couple of PAs out there with iPhones, and we're like, just make something happen. Just get some ladies together. Let's see what happens. That's what I like about this show. It's the very, come on, let's put on a show. So it's a sinking ship, I think. It could die at any moment, and that's what keeps me glued to the television.
Well, I mean, I do like the threat of like complete collapse and chaos, but
yeah,
I still think that there are many seasons left in it.
Me too, and it will always be a sinking ship.
You have something on your camera there?
I do. It wasn't on my camera, but it's right next to it, and it's just I know I'm just going to see it the whole time and be so furious with myself. I'm a Virgo, and I should know better.
Look at you taking charge and fixing a situation. Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
I'm in charge of my life. And yes, I defrauded 70-year-olds and stole their life. What the fuck with this show?
Well, I'll tell you who else is in charge. Heather. She's taking charge of her life and her destiny and her book because she is throwing a party to celebrate a cover for her book. So it's a party to celebrate marketing. And so,
yeah, it really is. It's a PR party. And I love that it starts with her party planner, who can't just be named Megan. She has to be Megagan because it's Salt Lake City. Nobody can just spell Megan, God forbid. Yeah. So
the extra G is for God.
God literally probably did forbid it. He was like, in Utah, no one will spell their name correctly. I want a double G on that, Megan. So Megan's like, oh my God, it's the author of the hour. And I just thought literally, because you all come out with so many books.
Yeah.
It's like an hourly thing. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't want to go to church. I'm going to write a book about it. I mean, for Christ's sake, I could have made millions.
Yeah. So, so Megan they're going through this event space and talking about this, like, we could put decals here and put the signage here and do this here and yada, yada, yada. And Heather is like, I remember when I first got the email talking to me about a possible book, which is funny because I spent most of the season saying I don't remember anything about anything, but I've been working on it for over a year on an email and returned. I just don't know if I want to say, yes, I want to write it. So anyway, we finally have an actual cover, and it's a big deal.
Yeah. I remember this space because you guys use it for every party scene. Okay.
I know,
This is the
it
same space. I'm like, is Meredith gonna hire a model to stand on the top step of the fucking pool? Like, this is the same place. Do you
Is
guys
that
think
where our
we're
Crappens show's
stupid?
going to be? Are we going to be performing there? With the
I
sun
hope
in our
so.
eyes?
I would love that. I would love if we could perform from the second step of that pool.
I know. I feel like every event space on Salt Lake, every event space and every restaurant looks exactly the same. There's all variations on Cucina Toscana or that rooftop pool thing where people jumped in.
But I think it's literally the same place, don't you?
I don't know. They all look the same to me. It's like, I haven't seen the show Severance, but I'm pretty sure it's about these spaces, right? Every picture I see is like, oh, look, they're at the event space in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I think Salt Lake City's like, you shall not shoot here. So they have like 3 spaces within a block that they shoot. You know, that's
Yeah,
what
I
it
think
looks
so.
like. So there's that going on. And then everyone's getting ready because it's a housewife show. Let's have the getting ready part. So Seth is lying in bed watching Meredith and he's like, is there a theme? He's like, well, I'm telling you this, it's not towing the taint, so keep that zipper up, mister.
And Seth is like, is there a title? Well, I was thinking it could just be called Meredith's Famous White Bean Salad. No, for Heather's book. Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't really care about it. I think it's
Takes
called
a
Bad
family.
Mormon.
Takes a family to cut a lemon. No, Heather's book.
Well, there never was a conversation either way about Brooks's sexuality. No, not about raising children.
She's not
Your
even
book.
trying to come up with a catchy title anymore. It's
Oh, I
just
think-
Brooks never decided about his sexuality, and that's his business, and that's what I say by Meredith Marks.
I believe Heather's new book title, I don't really know, but if it were me, I would call it Excommunicated, Miscommunicated, and Unrepresented. God, can't do the 3 rhymes. Still, after all these years.
And he's like, well, the title is Bad Mormon. That is such an impulse buy for me at the airport. Yeah, what everybody
else
wants
is-
to read on the beach. Somebody not liking being a Mormon. Oh, this is fascinating. Oh, my God. She's wearing granny panties now. I can't believe it. This is something.
Hey, Meg, did you read the chapter about the bolero jacket? Oh my God.
So then we go over to Lisa's. She's like, thanks for the tea, John. Oh my God, I hope I can sing tonight. I can barely hear myself.
What?
What?
What'd you say, Lisa?
You're hilarious, John.
You are so funny. So then now Justin and Whitney are sitting around in like pink tie-dye kind of things. And Justin's like, so is it going to be like church hymns? Because I may have some PTSD about it. Hey, you can't take my storyline. Sorry, but are there hymns? Yeah. Oh, so cocktail attire, but also hymns? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make any sense, but I auditioned for the choir, but everything that's happened with Heather, and then I decided I don't have time to be in the choir, nor do I want to be in the choir, but I want to support her because it's her healing. Is the camera still going on? Yeah, Whitney, we're still rolling. Okay, I'm almost done with my eyeliner. It's like, God, can you just get out the fucking line, Whitney? Come on, it's your 3rd season, for Christ's sake. Just write it down for Whitney, please.
Well, I had to leave the choir because it was hard for me to take phone calls in it because I'd risk people's lives. Like last year when Mary tried to call me when I was doing choir pool, and then I was like, I can't take your call because I'm in the choir right now. Whitney, that's car. Oh.
Never mind. Don't write it down for Whitney anymore. We tried that. We'll try something next season. Try something new. So Justin's like, well, props to you for being so supportive of a friend, babe. No, props to you, Justin. Props to you for having the nerve to wear that on national television. What is that? You look like a My Little Pony got melted and splatted all over a window. What are you wearing,
It's
sir?
literally what it was. They literally melted My Little Ponies on a tarp, and he slid over it. And just about to add the chocolate sauce.
So
it's a sew off.
That's what this show should be. A sew off. It should be a sew off. It should just be ladies in rocking chairs trying to sew better than each other. A stitch and bitch, if you will.
It could just be called so. So Heather is now at the Bad Mormon event. We're already starting with the event. And she's ordering a drink from the bartender. And she's like, I want tonight to be conflict free. And if there is a conflict, I would like it to occur right in front of my Bad Mormon cover poster, please. Because if it doesn't go my way, at least I'm fully prepared to exploit it. And I was like, isn't that something that Leah Black said on Miami once when she was like, well, I got these bags. And I hope that if they're going to have a fight, they do it with my bags in it.
And she goes to the bartender. She's like, well, look at our bartenders for this evening. I guess I better get acquainted with you because I'm going to be in outer darkness before you know it. And they're like, lady, like the Mormon jokes don't work on us. We literally don't. You're literally an adult who decided she didn't want to go to church anymore. Okay? Calm down. You can have a fucking drink.
Literally sun in everyone's eyes at this party. There's farthest thing from outer darkness. We're like really outer blindness from sun.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
Life is short, and it's full of a lot of interesting questions. What does happiness really mean? How do I get the most out of my time here on Earth? And what really is the best cereal? These are the questions I seek to resolve on my weekly podcast, Life is Short with Justin Long. If you're looking for the answer to deep philosophical questions like what is the meaning of life, I can't really help you. But I do believe that we really enrich our experience here by learning from others. And that's why in each episode, I like to talk with actors, musicians, artists, scientists, and many more types of people about how they get the most out of life. We explore how they felt during the highs and sometimes more importantly, the lows of their careers. We discuss how they've been able to stay happy during some of the harder times. But if I'm being honest, it's mostly just fun chats between friends about the important stuff. Like if you had a sandwich named after you, what would be on it? Follow Life is Short wherever you get your podcasts. You can also listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
So then people start arriving, and it's like, here come the beauty lab employees, and here comes Angie K. Hi, I am here. You know what? It's funny that I'm in this choir. I sing good in the shower, but, it's not the same. And then we see her singing at home going, God be with us till we meet again, and I can give you an invoice for $15,000 that you owe me for the God party I had in my living room.
Could you imagine? I wish God was a housewife. Jesus would be like, hey, remember all those fishes and loaves I multiplied for you? Thankless motherfuckers, line up to pay. Line up to pay.
Just because I turn water into wine doesn't mean it's free. Pay up, bitches.
Yeah, there's service involved. Okay.
Do I not get a tip? Hello.
So she comes to the party. She's like, oh my God, Heather, hi. I haven't spoken to you since the vacation. Like, how are you, Heather? And Heather says, you know what? I'm just like, this is great. And I'm just planning a cool evening with friends who are celebrating, And Angie just looks at her and blinks. She goes,
yeah.
She's like, yeah, we could do that. I'm going to call Jen Shah's suicide storyline fake. So that'll be fun. Spoiler alert.
I wore my best shoulder horns for the occasion. Mm-hmm. So then Lisa shows up. She's like, hi, guys. Hi, Justin. Hi, Sean. Hi, Angie. Hi, waiter who just learned about outer darkness. Hi, Pool.
Hi, guy who just put Hello Bad Mormon up on the window. Hi, carpet cleaner. Hi, table setter.
Hi, spider that laid eggs in Heather's eye.
She really does do that politician thing where she says hi to everybody by name. It really makes people feel important when you're saying their names, which I can never do. I never can do it. Even with my neighbors. I'm like, hi, guy that begins with a J. And other guy, like, what? I don't remember. It's too early, okay?
Do you use their last names? Do you do like a formal? You're like, hi, Mr. Francisco.
No, I get them confused sometimes because they're both J's and they're both gays. They're both J gays.
Jays and gays. J gays.
So yeah, she's like, hi, tablecloth. Oh, that was to your dress, Angie, not to you. But now, hi, Angie. And she goes, oh, Heather. Hi, Heather. Heather, is that you in the light? I like when she makes that voice and she's being hilarious. Is that you in the light? Heather.
I brought some rope if you want to tie me to one of these poles. And she's like, your eye looks totally better. It's totally gone. I can't even see that you have a black eye. That she has a black eye, everyone. Can I touch?
Yeah, I like your hair because the eye is better. I'm going to keep saying eye until you say something about the eye. Hi. And Heather's like, the black eye is gone, just like the memory of the black eye. She's like, oh no, I don't think the memory is going to go away, Heather. People want to know about the black eye, Heather.
Yeah. And Heather's like, well, I just didn't want to make it the main issue. And Lisa says to us, well, if you didn't want the attention diverted from your black eye. Sometimes, by the way, Lisa does this thing where she puts a comma in the wrong place because she goes, if you didn't want the attention diverted from your black eye, just say what happened and we'll all move on. It's like a big game for Heather.
And she's like, well, I know, but say me. That strained laugh voice. So then Whitney shows up like blink, blink. And Heather's like, wow, I'm really glad that Whitney could show up, but it's tainted. It's tainted. I mean, it's not like I can count on her for anything anymore. I hope we can get back to that place.
Yeah. Wow. That tainted support that when someone shows up at the unveiling of a piece of a poster of what your book will look like someday in the indeterminate future. It's tainted.
Yeah, it's tainted, guys. So everyone's hugging. Angie H hugs people. Dana hugs people. Heather hugs people.
Cousins come in.
And then, Heather and her, Volkswagen van full of cousins come in. And she's like, oh my God, guys, excuse me. Those are my cousins. Oh, not you, Whitney. The other side of the family.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
These are my people. These are my family. These are the people who showed up on my ski day and I talked to them for about 5 minutes. These are the people, okay? And it means the world to me that they showed up.
Yeah, and they showed up for me while I'm writing a book called Bad Mormon. It just means the world to me that they would be interested in what I'm doing with my life. Thank you, untainted side of the family. Thank you.
And Angie K, do you have a monologue that you may have prepared in the car ride over to this event? I do, thank you. Tonight is Easter at midnight, and I'm waking up today in honor of Greek Easter.
Oh, wait, I know what Easter is because that's a restarting. It's a resurrection. It's where hidden eggs, talking bunnies, marshmallow chicks.
Yeah, yes, that is correct.
I know what Easter is.
Yeah,
I know what it is.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, I know what Easter is.
Thank you, Lisa.
I love Easter.
I love Easter too. Okay, I've had my eyes and my eggs open to Jen Shah. And I'm definitely planning on talking to Jen tonight because Jen is putting out there to people and suggesting that I'm the one that's responsible for the eye.
Yeah, after the fashion show, a friend pulled my friend Jake aside and said... and said, don't get too close to Angie K because she's the one that punched Heather in the eye. And if she's trying to put rumors out there and make me look bad to make herself look better, that's not something I am even capable of doing. That's not something I'm even capable of.
And remind me what this
I
has
like
to do
those
with Easter
little
again.
plastic eggs that you pop open and there's like a Jolly Rancher in them.
I love how she, like, the setup for this is about that it's Greek Easter. Like, He has risen, and so have my eyelids, because now I can see.
Like,
Jen Shah.
she's terrible at this. It's so funny. You guys, you know Easter? Like, yeah. Well, Jen told everyone I gave her a black eye. Like, what?
I have opened up the Cadbury cream egg, and on the inside, I have discovered it is not all chocolate. It is some strange white goo, much like the trust that I have in Jen Shah.
Yeah, I didn't really get it either, but it was very funny because she's just so serious. Like, she's trying so hard, right? And so Whitney's even kind of laughing. She's just smiling in that wide-eyed way that she has. And she's like, why do you think Jen is doing this? And she's like, once Jen has turned on you or feels you have crossed her, she will forever be out to get you. And she's been the violent one. She's been the aggressive one. Guess what? Just like on Easter, everyone is saying that Heather and Jen were in Jen's room doing Barbie scissor kicks. And then Judas came in and beat the shit out of Jesus because he didn't like the scissor kicks. Are we still... Can we
Barbie
just...
scissor kicks. Listen. I say this because I feel that all of you are my peeps. And I say that because it is Greek Easter coming up, a time for peeps. And I want you to know scissor kicks can happen between women who are about to punch each other in the eyes. Anyone following this?
None of this, man. She is so crazy.
It's Easter to Barbie kicks. Anyone see the through line here?
What don't you understand? It's Easter with phyllo dough. What is confusing here?
Have you ever had a Cadbury cream egg wrapped in phyllo and filled with feta cheese instead? It is delicious.
Just like Judas and Jesus fought about before Judas betrayed him. Is goat cheese better than feta? Go. That's Easter, people. What are you not getting in this group? So
have
Whitney's
you ever had a peep with tzatziki on it? That is my experience.
Greek Easter. So Whitney's like, but wait, what do you mean by Barbie scissor kicks? Like they're having a relationship? And she goes, well, let's just say having a sexual relationship and romping and bumping and giving her a black eye in the end because maybe you didn't like the bump in the grind and maybe someone wasn't good in bed. Maybe somebody didn't like the eggs in their scissor basket. Scissors.
What I am trying to say is that there is not only violence, but bad sex. It is terrible in all different ways.
And then Lisa, okay, by the way, just like in case there are any lesbians out there who aren't completely mortified by this right now. Okay?
Or Greek Orthodox people
or,
too, I should
or
mention.
humans, or human beings, because this is ridiculous. Lisa's like, I don't think I like this visual. Like Heather and Jen, and she puts out her arms straight, and she goes, like, how does that work? And she just starts like directing air traffic control. Like, I don't know what she's doing. It's called woman on woman sex, you fucking morons. All of you.
To be fair, I'm not sure many of these women know how to actually use just regular scissors. So like to have to force them to visualize scissoring is difficult. They're like, wait, scissors? Is that the thing where you hold the sharp thing and try to hammer nails with the 2 round circles? No, Whitney, that's not how you use scissors.
I drove my kids to school in my scissors. No, you didn't, Whitney.
That's a Scion. It's a discontinued Toyota.
So, she's like, well, okay, this is what scissoring is. It's when two girls come together, naked, heels on, heels off, and they do this. And Whitney's like, but
Greek
wait.
Easter.
Greek Easter.
Greek Easter.
And then a child finds an egg in a bush.
So then Whitney is like, that's a rumor? And Angie goes, that's a rumor. So Jen Shah enters all smiling, and Whitney's like, they do say that every female is 3 shots away from being a lesbian. So, okay, here's the gun, shoot away. No, and it doesn't mean like that. Not that kind of shot.
Well, I can say that there are glimmers of hope that I could move forward with Jen, but Jen's not well. And so Jen's like, hi. And Sharif is like, hi, Meredith. We're going to come right back, sweetie. We have to have a conversation real fast. So they walk up to Angie and Chris. And Angie's just like holding Chris. Chris is like, God, I gotta feel something now. What a waste of flesh and hair this man is. What an absolute wuss of a man. Okay, so Shah and Jen come up, and Angie Harrington is like, oh, I'm so glad we have the opportunity to see you both tonight because we've been wanting to talk to you guys. We've really been wanting to, which is why you haven't heard from us at all about this.
I know.
Ever. Since we started this. But we'll do it on camera.
Yeah, we'll wait to. We'll try to avoid you as long as we possibly can, but now we're both at the season finale party, so it's going to happen. So Sharif is like, well, the things that were done and what was put up, in order for me to find a path of reconciliation, forgiveness, I need to hear from you. And so Chris goes, well, thank you for being willing to meet with us. My heart, it had, sorry. I'm sorry. Well,
I'm so sorry. He starts with the fake tears. Oh my God. And Angie's like, I think what he's trying to say is that as personal as it felt, it was not personal. And I understand. And I think that we both understand, right, Chris? Chris, stop. Stop, Chris.
Do you want your juice box? Yes, please.
Chris, does anyone have any air Kleenex for Chris's air tears? That would be great if we could get some of those over here. That would be great. Now, I understand why it would feel so personal. And Chris is like, of course we would. It's your family name. You went on and made a fake fucking account, dude. Like, how are you acting like, what? I know it's not personal. I know it feels personal, but it's really not. It's called Shah.
And by the way, I love this account was also to troll Lisa, right? And there's not a single apology for Lisa for actually trolling her. So then Sharif
because Lisa got over it, and Jen Shah is kind of known. Isn't Jen Shah accused of having all these troll accounts that she goes after people for? Because it's been brought up season after season, and she misspells the same words. You know, they do like forensic housewives discovery. Jen Shah has so many troll accounts that she goes and calls people names with and she uses against people. And so now, and Sharif knows this. And so the fact that Sharif is standing there right now like, I need an apology or I can never move a troll account. How dare you? When he's standing next to a woman, literally blocking a bridge's pathway, you know?
I got it. I see what you did there.
I mean, come on.
So Chris is like doing the full body shake cry. We go, and so Sharif is like, thank you. I accept your apology. And they hug, and everyone's hugging, and everyone's happy and crying, and everything is good for them. Everything worked out. So now it's time
Jen's
for the quiet
dabbing her
performance.
eyes. She's like, yes, I'm so glad you're making. Shut up. This is infuriating on the week of her sentencing. This is infuriating to watch. I can't with her. Go ahead, Ben.
I know.
Sorry.
So now the choir performance can start soon. So a cousin is like walking with Heather. Heather's now changed into like her choir robe. And the cousin's like, you look beautiful, by the way. And Heather's like, really? Not too slutty? And I'm like, you're in a choir robe. It's the least slutty thing you could ever wear in your life.
So now the choir gets up to sing, and wow.
It brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, it brought even closed captioning. If you turn on closed captioning, it just says ow with like 30 W's. Okay, that's all they're showing. It's like, amazing grace, how sweet the I like big butts and I just can't lie. Are you guys even singing the same song?
Thong.
Did you ever practice? Your only song is Amazing Grace. You guys never even practiced. That was your one episode with this choir at that practice where Heather wasn't even singing.
Listen, they were very impressive. They did 4-part disharmony, you know? I liked it. They all had their own track and they just went for it.
To be able to offend the ears of that many breeds of a dog. You know what I mean? But also, you can't do this to us. You can't do this to us on a gay-friendly channel. You can't say, hey, guys, we're putting together a choir, as if we all haven't seen Sister Act, okay? And then expect us to sit through this tripe, okay? You better have something good. Copy Sister Act. I don't care.
Yeah.
Get up there and sing a 50s oldie and make it good. Get a Kathy and a Jimmy in there and make this shit sparkle.
Yeah. What's Lauryn Hill doing these days? Bring her back. Get her on there, you know?
Yeah. Make an effort.
Reboot it. So then Lisa tells us, am I on key? I can't even tell. I have no idea. Am I on key? I know a lot of other people aren't. I'm like, I'm going to say you're not on key, considering you're singing like this. Oh, Mother, hi, Grace. Hi, Grace.
Lisa wasn't even singing along to the correct words. Like, Lisa didn't even learn the fucking words. They're like Amazing Grace, and she's doing like the bad dub late.
She's doing
it's like seconds
late. I like
late.
to give the world a Coke.
But only if it's diet. So Jen is like, she's singing, Amazing Grace, how sweet Jen is. What about what I'm going through?
And so everyone's like, yay. And Heather's like, thank you, choir. You know, we are here to celebrate this book. So I've been thinking a lot about what it means to me and the changes I've been through for the past few years. And I thought of some scripture, and I just want to say the scripture's from John something or another. And it's like, be a good friend or something. And that's what my intention has always been, is to be a ride or die for every single person I've ever met in my entire life.
And if I'm a bad Mormon, I hope I can still be a good friend to everybody except Whitney. Then Lisa.
I hope I could be a good friend to everyone who's not a Mormon, because I'm
Andy.
a bad Mormon.
I'd like you to thank you all to coming to my book that's not written yet, opening. It's not open yet. About leaving a religion. I'd like to thank you all with this Bible quote from that religion. Okay. What's the branding for this? Okay?
I know.
Are you making me pray through a speech at your non-religious ceremony? What the fuck is this? And a choir.
I just want to say to everyone, that's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Losing my religion, everyone.
In the words from my Bible, this is from Book Rhonda, chapter 302. You kids better shut the fuck up or I'm putting you up for adoption. Thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So everyone, is everyone ready to see the official cover of the book that someone at Simon & Schuster sent me? His name, I think, is Mark, and he sent me a beautiful PDF. It does say draft on it, but just pretend it's not there. Okay, ready? Here we go. And she takes like the curtain off of her poster board, and there's the cover of the book. Bad Mormon.
Yeah, we've all seen the cover by now. She's in like a blazer. She's holding a book, and she's holding the Book of Mormon, and she's going like this. Shh. And she goes, for a devout Mormon, this cover is sacrilegious, blasphemous, and terribly offensive. You are literally covered from head to toe. There's nothing, because you're holding the Book of Mormon. There's worse. And you're profiting off of this. I don't know how I feel about any of this right now. This feels like I have a problem with religion money grabs, and now I'm having a problem with anti-religion money grabs.
I think that your thing is that you don't like money grabs that are they're under the guise of doing something that's more high-minded or special like that. And so
right,
if
it's like
someone
I'm
says,
heroic for doing this, you know.
Right, that's what ticks you off. Because if someone said, "Yeah, I'm going to cash in on my experience," you'd be like, "Hell yeah, do it! I once did it when I was at the bowling alley when I was 15." But like, if someone says, "I'm doing this because I want to make a change," you're like, "That's a money grab. I know that because I did that when I was at the bowling alley when I was 15."
Okay, point taken.
No, but it's not a read. It's actually like totally fair because
It's an actually
you don't like
very
when people are
accurate
being
read.
inauthentic like that.
Yeah, it's giving me the wrong. It's not making me feel the feels, you know. It's grossing me out basically. But very good read. I love you.
It wasn't even supposed to be a read. It was just like
I don't mean a read. I don't mean a read in the like the sense of like, oh, that was the read. I mean like that was a very good read on me. So thank you.
Yeah,
like
it was
an accurate read.
Sense.
Yes,
Okay,
in the
great.
traditional sense. I really mean I love you. Thank you for
I love
knowing
you
me
too.
so well.
You're a good
I
Mormon,
love you.
Ronnie.
You may be a bad Mormon, but you're a good Ben.
Thank you. Thank you
that
very
to the
much.
bank and cash
I
it.
should be a
Take that
bad
to
Mormon
the
because I'm Jewish. So Heather is basically like, I'm going to reveal all the secrets in this book. Okay, I'm putting my cover of my book, and that's why I'm seeking grace and support for those who aren't offended by it and who want to buy it as an impulse buy at the airport. Gotcha, Seth. You are going to have to buy it. No free copy for you.
Seth's rubbing his taint on the poster. Seth, back away
like,
from my poster, please.
Now, when do we get one from Whitney called Bad Bra Person? Yeah.
So Lisa's like, I mean, it's a great cover. I'm just wondering what's going inside. And Angie K says, there is nothing like being invited to a book party with no books for sale like Easter.
And Lisa goes, I mean, it's like having a Vita tequila party with no tequila. That's crazy. It's like a fashion show with no Vita.
Vita walks in. She's like, did someone call me? Because I have some free time on my hands. Like, Vita, you little rascal.
Vita by Vita Ray.
Vita tequila. Every time you take a shot, the bottle just calls you fat.
You got passports? Vita got passports? So Whitney is like, oh, I see what you're saying. Vita tequila.
Yeah, Vita from Shaw's. It's like,
We were basically
you are
like-
bad daughter. You are very bad daughter.
We were committed to two separate Bravo cross references. So Whitney is like, so Jen and I literally haven't talked since the trip, because Jen and Whitney hugged to say hello. And she goes, Jen and I literally haven't talked since the trip, and I feel like we took a few steps back in San Diego. Which is funny because I don't think anyone watched that episode and ever thought like, wow, Jen and Whitney are
They're
in
so
trouble
close.
now.
Yeah. Or I never thought, wow, they're close, or wow, they're in trouble. I just thought, wow, there they go, yelling and lying again, you know?
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, I felt we took 2 steps backwards. And then it cuts to the clip of Jen going, I tried to commit suicide. Is that what you want to know? Because you want to digger. You want to keep on digging, Whitney? Marilyn Monroe with your shovel. And at the Marilyn Monroe party. So that was quite a reveal. So
Yeah,
Whitney's
at the
like,
charcuterie place. Never forget, charcuterie for dinner.
dressed as Marilyn Monroe. So Whitney's like, at the trip, I felt we went into it in a good place, but then it flip-flopped when you got with Heather and then the group. It felt like a gang up, and my house never even got remodeled. That's flip or flop, Whitney. Fucking idiot. But like, why do they look the same? Because they're twins, Whitney. Yeah, it's just like Easter. I'm going to say that right now.
Yes, I would like to join this conversation. Okay, at Greek Easter is a week after non-Greek Easter. And you know what? I'm telling you this because it's been a week since San Diego. Okay?
So yeah, Angie comes over and she's like, I need help talking to Jen. And Jen is like, I'll go with you. So they go over and Jen's like, well, Whitney, I had no idea you felt like that. I mean, I thought it was obvious that the Property Brothers were twins. And I thought it was obvious that that's a different show than Flip or Flop, which is Christina, who divorced Tarek because he went crazy and ran through the forest with a gun after having a mental breakdown. What's going on with you, Whitney?
but like, where's my dream house? No, that was about lottery winners. That's not even you.
Okay, so
Angie's like, okay, Jen. So Jen is actually trying to have a conversation with Whitney, and Jen is actually surprisingly chill. Like Whitney's saying, like, I thought we took 2 steps back, and Jen's like, I didn't have an issue with you. But then everyone flocks over. So then Angie interrupts and is like, okay, Jen, let's stop talking about the trip for a moment. And then Jen's like, let me finish up. And she goes, okay, well, wrap it up. And she's like, I was talking to Whitney and everyone just jumped over here. Like, I'm trying to be respectful to Whitney.
And finish this conversation, okay? She's like, Jen, you are spreading eggs, colored eggs all over the city. Children are confused. They're not finding the eggs, Jen. The eggs are rotting. The streets are smelling. What are you even talking about right now?
Jen, I just popped in a DVD, and you know what I was told? That there are actual Easter eggs in the DVD. You have infected all forms of entertainment.
You are spreading rumors that I went around and gave Heather a black eye. And then we get the Top Chef. Shing! And Jen's like, wait a minute, that's a lie. Just, you didn't say anything about me being responsible or giving Heather a black eye. I didn't say one thing about you giving her a black eye. That's not even true. Sharif, come over here, Sharif. I'm like, oh God, you're calling Sharif over.
So Angie's fired up and she's like, it's the season finale. I'm going to go big or go home. What could possibly go wrong? So she's like, listen, Sharif, she gets abusive and bullied to people like me who have had her back. And she's telling me that Angie is pushing her to the brink of suicide. So I have her back. And now everything, was it even real? Did she really push you to that? Or was it fake? And then Sharif and Jen look at her like, what the fuck?
That was the most shocking thing in the episode for sure. Because even I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? Who says that? Who says that? Even if you don't believe it's real, who says that?
Yeah. Well, then, by that, Jen's like, please tell her, are you serious? Was it real? And Sharif is like, was it real? And Angie now backpedals and she's like, no, not that. I knew about that. But no, were your feelings about this woman real? But by then it's too late, because she didn't say that.
Yeah.
She should have said that, not the other thing.
No, she meant the other thing, but it just did not fly, especially because they brought Coach Shaw over. And he's like, it's not real that she almost died, that she tried to commit suicide. And Jen's outside with the producer and she's like, fuck her, I'm leaving. And she says, never in my life have I met someone as hateful or as disgusting as Angie K. Because you don't do that. You don't ever question someone's mental health or their suicide attempt. That is beyond fucked up. Which, Jen's a monster, and I question a lot of things about Jen and what she did to those old people. You literally left old people destitute and homeless.
But a broken clock that commits wire fraud still is right 2 times a day.
That's right, Ben.
Unless it's a military clock, in which case, 1 time a day. Sorry.
Yes. And so Jen's like, I don't want a camera in my face right now. So she's pissed. So she's leaving. So then Heather is trying to talk to Angie K. And Angie's like, I think it's healthy for them to have peace. But she flip-flops. That's the thing. She said, she says that I gave her a black eye. And Heather's like, no. She says that I gave you a black eye, Heather. And Heather's like, yeah, well, she also said that spiders laid eggs in my eyes. No, she didn't, Heather.
Wait, is there a spider Easter also?
Oh my God, how many little spider babies are trying to find eggs? But no, Jen didn't say that. Heather said that to Jen as a cover story. I don't understand. This show literally sometimes I just don't understand.
So Heather's like, do you want peace with Jen? What is your objective? Angie's like, well, I don't think there's any way to move forward. So Jen just wants to leave. And now there's, basically it kind of segues. We're only halfway into the episode, but it segues into the final. This is where they're at the end of the season. So we get Heather's book is finished and now she's worried her family will actually read it. So she practices with her choir regularly and continues to give Jen amazing grace.
Hold on, Ben. Okay, you just hold on a second. Here's what I'm doing.
What did I do? This was the part of the show.
Nothing. I'm not mad at you. I'm annoyed with these end cards because it's like you said, it's 20 minutes in, and I was like, oh my god, I finished my notes. This is great. So I took pictures. Yeah, you did, Heather. So I'll do Lisa.
I can just text you them because I wrote them down.
I've got him here. Lisa's business has been better than ever. Just ask the SEC. She has been attending college tours with Jack, but no jazz games in quite some time. Hi, jazz team. Hi, college.
Hi, Carl Malone. So now Whitney is focused on setting boundaries in her life, except in the bedroom. Unfortunately, the bad weather report is still gloomy, and sunny skies aren't on the horizon.
And Meredith continues to be a champion for mental health, and especially her own. She and Seth are busy taking bubble baths, which leaves no time to reconcile with Lisa.
Why would I spend time reconciling Lisa Barlow when there's white bean salads to be made for the needy? I'm sorry, but I cannot reconcile at this moment.
And you know what? We have to give credit where credit is due, because I kept scrolling because I'm like, okay, now we'll read the other ones. They did a whole season with 4 housewives. That's something.
5.
Well, 5, Jen. That's still something. That's the skeleton crew.
Well, I mean, New Jersey has actually been like that for several seasons now, to be fair.
Good point. I take back my good points.
Although New Jersey basically has all those husbands, so it's kind of like a full housewife, like a full cast, you know?
Yeah. And their personalities are all like so big. And so anyway.
Yeah.
So we finished that. Yeah. It's like
their personalities.
Like, yeah.
I just feel like their personalities are like so big.
Some personalities can like carry it, and some people can't. So, So then we go to 3 months later, dun dun, and we have we get to see the mountains and a church. You know, we always get to see a temple, and it's dong. No, we don't see a dong. Okay, it's
we also see
an
ominous valley. By the way, there was a very ominous, misty valley.
It was flying over. It was like, ooh, someone's dead in the valley.
Yeah, it was like dead in the valley, but it was also like Elden Ring.
Kind of. Yeah, it was like Brenda Blethyn, Brenda
Blethyn and Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Oh, Tarnished. I'm terribly sorry, Tarnished, but you're at the wrong place. I'm terribly sorry. Oh no, I did have a baby with you, Tarnished.
So this is a Jen and Mom scene, which is so hard to watch because we all remember the scene sitting down with Jen's mom, where Jen's mom gave up all of her retirement money.
Yep.
And put liens on all of her homes to give money to Jen. It's like the ultimate old lady scam was her own mother. So congrats, Jen. Hope you feel great. But she's still sticking to her story right now. Also, this is the day she's leaving to New York for her trial, and she's literally dressed like a clown, which I thought was great. So thanks for
so they're
that.
sitting at the front stoop, and Jen's just sort of sad. She wishes Dad were there to help make things better. And the mom is so sweet, and she actually gives such a lovely piece of advice saying, don't forget like what your grandmother said and what's part of Tongan culture, that you're always surrounded by your ancestors. They're always around you. And when you call their name, they're right next to you. So when you go in that courtroom, call your grandma, call your grandpa and your dad, and they'll be right there with you. It was so lovely.
I already did. I got their credit card numbers and their social security numbers.
I sold Ghost at a website.
So Jen's like, oh my God, it's really happening. I love you, Mom. So then they go off in a car service or whatever, and then we see them fly. It's like all sad music.
There's like flashbacks over the past 2 years of like memories. Andy Cohen be like, so the New York State Attorney General has 95% success rates.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, that's because people take a plea deal.
I'm innocent! Which is my favorite one. They play that one about 10 more times in echo mode. And they took all the Ha samples off of the keyboard, and now it's just innocent, innocent, innocent.
But then they arrive in New York City and we see the Statue of Liberty, and then the music gets very urgent. It becomes very violin heavy. It's like in New York, no more ha 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 choir. Now it's like the third act of Wall Street, and all the music's like, and she's like getting there and arriving, get into her hotel. She like gets in and opens the window and stands and looks at New York City, and it's like dun dun.
And I have to say, the Statue of Liberty, for being a statue, it's just so emotional. Like sometimes it's like, yes, welcome. And sometimes it's like, power, you welcome to fucking New York City, right? And sometimes it's just like, do I smell? Do I smell to you? Like, it depends on how they shoot it.
Yeah, well, in this case, it was definitely like, the Statue of Liberty was definitely like, bitch, we got you.
Yeah. So then we see 3 days to trial, and Heather's in her hotel room because she has come to support Jen, and Meredith has come too. So they have a very long hug and talk about their game plan. And Meredith is like, well, I think physically having us here is huge. It's a huge deal that we're here, and there's not much else we can do.
I mean, I'm happy that Heather and I are here in New York for Jen, because otherwise, how would she slice a single lemon? You need to have at least 3 people, am I right?
Yeah, so they talk about how serious this is, and Heather says that she saw her before they left for New York, and it was the most serious conversation we ever had. And we see a clip of it, and Jen's like, oh my God, if something happens to me, will you check on my family every day? And is crying and stuff. And they're talking about how scared she is and stuff like that.
Yeah, so then they go over to Jen's hotel room. Jen is wearing her Brooks Marks sweatsuit, and Heather's actually wearing the sweatpants. They're really like, as much as this is a let's support Jen scene, it also for some reason is a let's support Brooks Marks scene. So
yeah.
they're
Heather's
there.
like, I hope they find you not bad Mormon.
Listen, I'm so glad you're wearing Brooks's tracksuit, because you're going to be wearing a lot of tracksuits for a little while. So Jen's like, I'm so happy to see you guys. What about me? What about me? And I love that they're in this enormous executive suite in this hotel. I mean, this is, you're trying to save money for your legal team, and you're getting this expensive ass suite. But you know what? God bless. So they all hug. They all hug Coach and everything. And Jen says, so many people have said, I'm going to be there for you, Jen. But who's actually here? Who got on the plane? Who's here to show support? It's Heather and Meredith, okay? And it's like having the cavalry show up to meet me and like support me. It's like having the cavalry be like, what about you, Jen? What about you, Jen? Finally, someone asks.
And Heather is like, I know it's going to be hard for you to move around after you get this injection between your eyes from Beauty Lab. So let's get that done. But yeah, basically, Jen is here in New York. She is still planning on going through with this trial. It's like 2 days to trial almost. And she's still like, yep, here we go. I'm completely innocent. And then they're like, well, where's your husband? And she says working. But they're going to go have a strategy meeting, right? So now it's 2 days to trial. And Meredith and Seth and Heather go to this like glamorous, beautiful lunch on the water. And it's
beautiful,
just
gorgeous, like floral. There's flowers and like arbors, not arbors, but like the trellises. And they're ordering oysters and champagne. And it's like, oh, what's going to happen with our friend? Please pass the caviar.
It's going to be so hard for her in prison. Like deep throating an oyster. It's so weird.
It was a funny look. So, they go to this place. Meredith's like, look at the pretty hydrangeas. That's beautiful hydrangea. And Steph's like, I'll order a stress reliever. Stress reliever. Also what I call Whitney's boobs. Am I right? Hey, Mary, you can take your toe off my taint right now. Oh.
So, Whitney's boobs, speaking of things I'd like to lunch on, have lunch with. Hey, I couldn't wait to have lunch with Coach, but that didn't work out. Heather's like, yeah, sorry that didn't work out. And he goes, yeah, I know it's about Jen, as it should be, but how's he doing? How is Shah? And Heather's like, well, I talked to him, and he's business and emotional emotional support, and they got the witness list, and then they saw the former people in their lives that are testifying, and he's seeing what they're going to say about them. He said it was really hard to read and really hard to hear all these things about Jen. So now supposedly this is the first time that Coach Shah has actually heard what Jen has done, which I don't know that I believe, really, but I'll go with it for now.
Yeah. So Seth goes, well, she's either going to be free or an innocent, or she's going to be found guilty, which is like the third time someone said that this episode. I don't know what profound insight people have when they say that. Well, one thing's going to happen. I'm either going to be innocent or I'm going to be guilty. It's like, yeah, we get this. Stop saying it as if, like, guys, breaking news. It's going to go one of two ways. Innocent, guilty, or not guilty.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to swallow an oyster, or I'm going to lightly rub a boner in my pants. Both things are happening at one time. I told you.
We have defied the criminal justice system at this moment.
So Seth is like, and then Heather says another one like this. She goes, listen, she's not only afraid of being found guilty. She's also afraid of being put into a facility. Yes.
Yes.
We get it, you know.
I think that's the worst part. I think that's probably the part that she's more afraid of than being found guilty.
Right. So he's like, well, this isn't looking good because everyone else pleaded guilty. And Meredith is like, well, no one is denying the scheme happened, Seth. What the question is did Jen Shah know about it?
Yeah. And Heather goes, there's no proof. There's no proof whatsoever. And Meredith goes, well, this is not a small thing where you could be facing 6 months in prison. No, this is a major trial. And Seth goes, well, I mean, have any of you guys actually ever asked Jen if she's guilty of any of these charges? And they're like, no.
Heather looks at Meredith like, what the fuck? What is he even talking about right now? How dare he?
So Heather's like, when your friend looks you in the eyes and says, I am innocent, then you say, I am going to support you in any path you take. Please pass the charcuterie. God, this Marilyn wig really itches.
And Seth is like, well, God forbid she's guilty. Are you going to still be her friend? And Meredith is like, if in fact Jen is claiming to be innocent when she's really guilty and not taking accountability to the victims, that's a really big problem for these beautiful earrings from Meredith Marks Jewelers. Like, what are you guys even doing here? This is the first time you've ever thought about this. They actually had to pull you guys aside months later to have a scene because you all look like such idiots for just following Jen so blindly because you're afraid of her. I mean, come on.
You know what? I just hatched an idea in my head. I think that Meredith is very shrewd. Meredith has known that Jen is guilty. Meredith has known ever since we saw her in that bathtub in Vale hearing the news and be like, well, of course she did, because she's been kicked off the Louis Vuitton guest list. But Meredith now has what seems to be the early traces of a pattern of being really, really nice to the shadiest person on the show, because she knows that shady person is going to get their due. So she doesn't have to get her hands dirty with it. So she can wind up looking like a supportive person. She was so friendly and to Mary M. Cosby. She loved Mary. She always supported Mary. All of a sudden she's supporting Jen super hard because she knew Mary M. Cosby was nutso and was probably going to get in trouble with the law for her cult. And she knows that Jen Shah is going to go to jail because Jen Shah is clearly guilty. So she's like, what do I have to lose? I can look like a good friend supporting my friend in their time of need before they are carted off and I never have to deal with them ever again.
Well, and she's also good at using people as weapons, you know? It's like she would use Mary Cosby against, like, Whitney. And what was she against Whitney last year? Lisa
Mary
or whoever.
Was. Oh.
Yeah, Mary was against... No, Meredith. Who was Meredith against last year?
Meredith was against Jen last year.
Wasn't it Whitney? Was she against Whitney too?
No, she didn't. I think that they were neutral.
Well, but you can always use Mary against Jen, right? Because she hated Jen.
But Meredith last season was very much against Jen Shah. Like, that was the big feud of the season, or one of the big feuds.
And I've always kind of thought that about Heather too, like just like the long-suffering friend who's there for anybody. Like, even though I've left my religion, I'm still the most forgiving, just like Jesus. You know, which I know is a different religion, but you get what I mean. So yeah, in other words,
It's like when you
I
don't
agree
like
with
someone.
you.
It's like when you don't like someone, but they're moving across the country, and so you can just be like really nice to them at their going away party, because that way you're like, I'm never gonna see them again, and at least this way, like whatever, I can I can get some brownie points.
Right, like you look like the loyal friend, and this show is all about, you were loyal to me, you were not loyal to me, I've been so loyal to you. You know, like that's their thing. So I guess they win. Congrats, suckers. So then Heather is like, listen, you believe the people that you love. Just take a moment and see how beautiful it is where we are, and how peaceful, and consider the circumstances we're under. Just heartbreaking. Do you have any more of that horseradish stuff that goes on top of this oyster? That would be great. Thank you.
It is heartbreaking to think that here we are enjoying a beautiful mignonette on these oysters while Jen Shah is going to maybe go away for 30 years. It is heartbreaking.
Yeah. So now it's night, and now they're in Jen's room, and they're getting snacks, and Heather like throws a bag of chips or something at Jen, and she's like, I don't like how you handed that to me. And so then Jen has her monologue about, oh, okay, so now is kind of where Jen drops some news, right? Because she's been with the lawyers all day. They've been reading testimony all day. They've found out the government's case, basically. That's what they've spent their day doing. So Jen's like, the hardest part for me is it someone I trusted? Someone I made sure didn't get fired 5 times at the last company we worked for? Someone I literally saved from dying when he was choking on an almond in a car and I hit him in the temple and called him a stupid fat fuck? Someone who I built from the ground up has betrayed me. I learned this week, she says, that the person who turned on me, and I just read all the things he said, and Stuart Smith is a piece of shit.
Yeah, and you know what? He can play the I'm Little Stuart Smith, okay? But no, bitch, you're fucking evil, and you played me, and I would be not in this thing. We're not for Stuart. Stuart played me. Stuart Little played me. I was played by a tiny little mouse. Jen, you're getting your lie mixed up with children's literature. But what about me? So Jen is like, you see the progress over the last year and a half, and he went from Jen didn't know anything. Jen wasn't involved. Jen knew nothing. Then all of a sudden he's like, oh, Jen knew everything. Okay, he was doing this all behind my back the entire time.
And Heather's like, but why do you think that he did that? Just to get a lesser sentence? And she's like, yes, Heather, that's how it works, stupid. And this is where because Jen has spent this whole show, all of her time on this show, trying to convince us that Stuart is just her assistant. He's just part of the Shaw squad. He doesn't do shit. And, I listen to all those Bravo docket episodes. This shit is terrible. And these emails that they have going back to each other, laughing about the people that they're fucking over, and like, oh, it's the 80-year-old. She's in love with you. You better work harder and get another credit card from her. I mean, horrible human fucking beings, okay? And she spent this whole time trying to convince everybody that Stuart's her assistant, and now, as Heather points out in her fake shock, pretends that she had no idea that Stuart was always working with her, and she cannot believe that he would betray her like this. So what is it? Is he your assistant? Or is he this big mastermind that somehow tricked you into scamming life savings out of the elderly?
Yeah. So then Jen is like, it makes me think it's so hard to trust people, says the literal phone scammer.
LOL.
So Meredith is like, well, we all know how this world works, and karma is out there. And I always say that people that do bad things suffer with their own being every day. Or in the case of me, they have Seth.
So at this point, Heather and Meredith are very quiet and just staring at Jen because they've just caught, Jen is caught, right? There's nothing she can do anymore because they know that she's absolutely fucking lying now. They're both looking at her like, well, glad I came to New York, and then Jen tells us how tired she is. And she's just so tired. And there's so much I wish I could say to the public because I'm tired. I'm just really tired. And the producer says, so are you ready to tell us the real story now? And then we just get a black and white still of them having their final group hug.
And we, by the way, never get that real story. I was like, because it goes to commercial. So I was like, oh, what's coming up next? But we never get it. So now it's the morning. We see New York City, and then we hear like that death bell that they play. It's like the for whom the bell tolls. It's like bong.
It's Jill Zarin, the death toll.
Zarin. You know what? I went to the trial. I went to the sentencing. Could have been better. Could have been better.
Could have been better. Could have been
Could have
better.
been better. You know what? Though it was okay. You know what? It had. You know what? I like the decor. But you know what? They could have spoken up a little bit. It was very hard to hear.
So we see what we've seen lots of clips of since last July, which is reporters chasing her to her car and asking for comment because she has just pleaded guilty. And so it is pleaded, right?
I'm so glad you asked that because I always thought the past tense of plead or plea was pled.
It is.
But I wonder if maybe legally it's like pleaded is the past tense when you're talking about a plea. And
yeah, I think normally it's pled, but then legally it's pleaded. Why?
I'm going to look that up.
It's like someone hung himself. No, he didn't hung him. He hanged
versus
himself.
hung.
It's one of those, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those tricky words.
You know what? I'm going to look up pleaded versus pled because honestly, we're going to get a lot of, this is the exact sort of thing where everyone's going to tell me.
It's pleaded.
Like actually, so yes, I think that we're on to something. And the answer is.
Because in court you wear dockers and dockers are pleated. Usually. At least they were last time I wore them. It's a long time ago. But yeah, I think it's pleaded. Anyway, she was sentenced to 6.5 years, we see on the screen, which, you know, she's lucky as hell.
She is lucky as hell.
Because that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So then, back in Salt Lake.
By the way, I'm sorry.
Oh, an answer. I love an answer.
This is from Grammarists. I actually am really excited about this. This is from Grammarists. Pleaded is, shut up, pop-up window. Pleaded is the standard past tense and past participle of the verb plead. Pled has always been considered incorrect. By people who make such judgments, but is so common that we have to accept it as an alternate form. And pled is not just an Americanism, as some have claimed. It appears just as often, about one pled for every 20 pleadeds in current British and Canadian news publications. Australians are the exception. They seem to shun pled almost completely.
Wow, that answer needs to get the stick out its ass. I'll tell you that much.
By the way, if anyone wants, I will always be happy to do grammar clarifications in Meredith Marks' voices because that's like, now that I've done it, I realize that every like little thing about grammar is so Meredith Marks. Actually, it's E before I except after C. Or I before E except after C. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know. So
that was
pled
actually
is wrong.
Surprisingly,
Pled is
that was
always
surprising.
wrong. That
Pled
was
is always
the
wrong.
twist. That was the
It's
biggest
just like-
twist of this episode, really.
It's basically like pled is wrong, but stupid Americans use it so much. And I guess British people and Canadians too, but mainly Americans.
That's always the answer.
Irregardless.
It's like you could look at anytime you look up something in grammar, it's like Americans are stupid. There's your answer. It's like, okay.
I can't believe pled is just. We've just forced it. We've forced it to be part of our language. It's not. I'm never going to say pled again, ever.
Oh, so back in Salt Lake City, we're at Pago. Or it's just Pago, but it says Pago on both windows. I don't know. Okay.
I'll tell you what it's
knows.
not.
Look at that.
It's not Cucina Toscana. That's what I know. And if you think we're not going to Cucina Toscano when we go to Salt Lake City, you were wrong. I am going to Cucina Toscano.
Oh, hell yes. So Lisa and Heather are having lunch, and Lisa's like, hi, can I get a table for two? Hi, hostess.
Hi, Pago. Hi, other Pago. Hi, Pago too. So then they're ordering, yeah, and Lisa's like, hi, could we get like 2 Vita cocktails? Thank you.
Burrata crab cakes and 2 Vita cocktails. I'm not even going to specify which one because you should know. Go, hostess. Tell Bar Pago hi. Hi, Bar Pago.
Hi, Pago.
So they're like, oh my God, can you believe it? Oh my God, it's so surreal. I felt a gamut of emotions. I felt confused. I felt like, wow, is this who she is? I felt like, whoa, is this Coke Zero? Because I want to throw up right now. Get me a Diet Coke, John. Jesus Christ. I felt like, oh my God, what about her kids?
Yeah. And Heather's like, I am overwhelmed with grief. It's horrifying. Grief that we're in this situation. Grief that there are victims. Grief that there's a whole second Pago that I never even knew about all this time.
Yeah, and then they start crying about her 16-year-old kid, which, you know, obviously that is sad. Yeah, that is sad. But at the end of the day, that's another victim of Jen, and I'm not crying for Jen. But yeah, that is sad for the innocent people in her life, obvi. So Lisa's like, yeah, and I bawled yesterday. And so they start crying about that. And Lisa's like, yeah, but when you read what she said, what did you feel? What did you feel? And Heather's like, shock. I mean, just shock.
There are pull quotes from the plea that says, like, I knew the purchasers of the services were misled. I knew this was wrong. I know many people were harmed, and I'm so sorry, yada, yada.
Yeah, because part of her plea was that she had to fully confess and not take any of it back, you know? And you can kind of see in her diary room sessions where she just almost wants to, you know, she wants to start excusing it. She did have the whole blaming Stuart for lying and all of that stuff, but I guess since that happened before the plea, yeah, she's safe. But anyway, Heather's just like, I mean, here's my theory, which I thought this was, well, she says she pled guilty. So what she pled guilty to is so bad. And the fact that she's taken it so far and proclaimed her innocence, I mean, all I can think is that she thought she was going to get away with it. And then she realized she wasn't going to get away with it. And her story changed.
That's usually how that goes, actually.
Right. It's like a very stating the obvious kind of episode.
Wait, are you saying, the fact that she proclaimed her innocence until the 11th hour and then pleaded guilty, that was an indication that she thought she could get away by with saying that she's innocent and then changed her mind.
Literally crazy. So so Lisa's like, but then what made her decide at the last second not to fight anymore? And I thought this was interesting because I haven't heard this, but she says, I think Coach discovered what she was doing and it was impossible to explain away. And then when the witness statements were read, they knew that it was something that they couldn't get away with, and it was a smoking gun, and boom, you're going to prison for a decade. And then she says, I'll tell you right now, if my husband knew about it and he knew and my husband was involved and he said to me, go sis, I'll take care of the kids while you spend 10 years in jail. That's the first time I've heard anybody say like, oh, so he probably knew this whole time and he's saying you're going to be the one to take the fall and I'll take care of the kids.
Well,
have you heard that?
I haven't heard that, but I think it's probably like, but I think that Heather was saying not that he was like involved, but like that seems
well, it was an if. It was an if. It wasn't really an accusation. She's saying, and I tell you right now, if my husband knew about it and he knew and my husband was involved and he said, there you go, sis, I'll take care of the kids and see you in 15 years.
Yeah. I think that's basically, she's saying he was like, look, you're screwed. I'll take care of this or something. But it still was sort of ambiguous. I wasn't totally sure what she was getting at. I felt like I got like 89% of the way there. But
I listened 3 times because I was like, whoa, that's the first time I've heard anybody suggest that he knew the whole time and he's saying we're not both going down for this.
Right.
You're going down and I'll take care of the kids.
I just was surprised that he was not like, I'll take the fall and you take care of the kids. But maybe because he knew that there was more upside to the money he was making or something. I have no idea. That's like super conspiracy theory. So Lisa's like, oh my God, beyond. And Heather goes, I think she did it. And I think she's choking on the words and she doesn't want to say it. It's too big. And the penalties are too big. I'm like, well, welcome, Heather, to the rest of America. Congratulations. You made it over here.
Yeah. And also, you think she did it? She said she did it. She's already confessed at this point, you nut. So whatever. Lisa cries and it just ends with sobbing. Like, oh my God. What's going to happen?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, 2 Pagos. Can you believe it? It's a lot.
Yeah. So there you go.
There we go.
There's the end of Jen Shah on Salt Lake City until she has her
Jen Shah checking in, or Jen Shah and Andy Cohen sit down in front of the cameras.
Yes, or if they give another spinoff to like Coach, you
Coach
know, like
checks
while
in.
we wait, and he just calls, like you said, he just calls Jen every once in a while. You have a collect call from Social Security number. I'll take it.
Well, look, 6.5 years go by very quickly. I mean, 6.5 years ago was only 2016 or so. So, you know, like that time will fly by. She'll be back. You know, I mean, how long was Danielle Staub off of New Jersey, right? That was like 10 years. And then she came back. It was like no time had passed. So
Yeah.
I say she'll be back with us before you even know it. And I don't know if that's a good
Fucking
thing.
hope not. God.
I'm about to say, I'm reassuring people who are like, but what about Jen
What are
Shah?
you doing over there?
I don't know. I'm
Like,
talking about
but
time.
in the meantime, I'll be there visiting her every
This
week.
is for
Fuck
Reefy.
her,
This is for
man.
Reefy. Anyway, that's that. So we have the reunion coming up. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to buy your tickets for our live shows. Go to watchcrappens.com. Check out Dwell Hello on Wondery Plus, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Dana C. Dana Do. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
There ain't no problem that Sarah Salvia can't solve ya. The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors, the incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
Always the wiser is Allison Weisler.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Erica, 500 Days of Summers.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Undo your fasteners, it's Aaron Kastner.
We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
We want to hang with Liz Lang.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.